Hi everyone, welcome to Ponderings of the Priest. Over the last couple of weeks we've been pondering the values, living the values of Jesus. And what I'd like for us to ponder together today is the value of mercy. The value of mercy. At its foundation, mercy is grounded in love, it is grounded in humility, and it is grounded in obedience to God. And so it is that God calls us to mercy. In Micah, He has told you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, and that is sometimes interpreted as mercy, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. We are in an age and a time over the last several years where we see little mercy, we see little kindness, and we cry for justice, and yet there are ironic twists to that, and I'd like for us to ponder all of that together today. When we live a life that is merciful, we begin with a place of humility that, but for the grace of God, I could be that person, that could be my life. And so we find ourselves to forgive, to be humble, and to love as Christ loves, a selfless love that is not rooted in personal agendas or self-righteousness even. And so we seek to love as Christ loves, loving our neighbor as ourselves, and understanding that in all humility, that could be us. We seek to live a life of mercy and kindness in not only our love for each other, but our obedience to God and our obedience to Jesus' teachings. There's so much that Jesus teaches us. I like to cite the 8th chapter of Matthew moving forward, just because it so clearly outlines the teachings and the values of Christ as it is to be obedient to God. And most of the things in those chapters run contrary to what our human inclinations can be. And it's not always easy to live that way, but it is how we are called to live. To live a life that is merciful, that cares for the least able, that cares for the most vulnerable. And it meets it with justice. But it is a justice that is a justice for all. It is a justice that is also rooted in obedience and not in self-righteousness or judgmentalness. Because then, it's the Pharisee saying, my God, I thank thee that I am not like the other man. And in that moment, we become the Pharisee ourselves. Our call is to love each other, to show kindness to all, even and especially the people with whom we disagree, to pray for them, to be obedient to God's word, because we will never find our solutions if we keep trying to do this by ourselves without God's guidance, without God's mercy, and without our obedience to God's teachings. And so I'd like for us to ponder this week, do I live a life that is kind? Do I live a life that is based in love and forgiveness and humility and obedience to God? It seems a tall order. It's not easy, but it is definitely something that we need to ponder and seek to put into practice in our lives. Something to think about for the week. Have a good week, everyone.